I almost didn't post this video because talking about rejection, sensitive dysphoria kind of just confirms out loud that I'm fragile, I guess, that I need a lot more reassurance than most people, that I'm more sensitive, and it's not a very easy thing to come to terms with, to admit out loud, especially on a platform like this where I have a public audience. But you know what? If my vulnerability helps at least one person feel even just a little bit less bad about the state they're in, then honestly it's worth it. So let's talk about RSD, the ADHD symptom that made me think I was crazy. Hello lovelies, welcome back to Craig's Corner podcast, East Africa's first mental health and lupus focused podcast, and I'm your host, Craig. So let's jump right into today's episode, rejection sensitive dysphoria, or for short, as I will be referring to it in the rest of this episode, RSD. So we talked about executive dysfunction earlier, and in this episode we're looking at emotional dysregulation. And I would like to put this disclaimer that this is a core symptom. This is a core state of ADHD, not just a secondary factor about it. So emotional dysregulation just means that your mind, your body has a major struggle controlling and modulating emotions. Meaning when other people have a volume dial where they can slowly increase and slowly decrease, we have an on and off switch. So you're either at 100% or at 0%. There tends not to be an in-between. Everything is bigger. Sadness is bigger. You feel despondent and depressed. Excitement feels manic. Excitement becomes anxiety. Frustration becomes rage. And all of these happening, it is a nasty roller coaster without any breaks and without any guides. So it's not that I'm trying to be dramatic or to be excitable or to be over the top. My body just does not know how to make that differentiation. So one of the factors about emotional dysregulation is that everything just happens so fast. I am okay right now, and like right now that I'm recording this episode, and someone walks outside my door loudly, and I get so pissed I want to go outside and give them a proper talking to, when other neurotypicals would just pause, wait for the person to walk by, and then continue. It is an almost uncontrollable switch. I mean, of course, over the years with skills and therapy, you learn to be able to manage that oscillation and reduce the range, but it is still there and it is very impulsive. Now, another thing that makes it so much worse is that emotions are hard to control. And fact of the matter is, most people who are neurodivergent understand that they are overreacting. And it's not that they want to overreact, it's that they're aware they're overreacting over something that does not need that big of an explosion of a reaction, but they cannot control it, which only makes it even more frustrating. So another thing is that they can change very rapidly, and it's very spontaneous and kind of random. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I was out with my partner and we were going shopping. And we're having a really great time looking at books and all the new things they had on offer. And I remember we got to chocolate. And I wanted chocolate, but I didn't know which one to pick based on the budget. But he said he was going to get it for me. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Let me now go pick. I was like, do I get Bounty? Do I get Cadbury? Do I get Dairyland? Dairyland, I think. And I was trying to decide. And out of nowhere, I just dropped. I feel like I'm about to cry because of the thing about when you have a lot of choices, you kind of go into a spiral. And I remember getting teary and sniffling, and he noticed it and he came back to me because he had walked ahead. And he asked, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm going to cry because I can't decide what chocolate I want to pick." And yes, it sounds very stupid. I know that. I'm a grown woman crying over deciding which chocolate to pick when it's not even my money that's gonna buy it. So eventually he does come around and decide for me, which was a very practical situation, at least for him, because he was able to witness what I usually tell him about when I explain some of these ADHD symptoms. I'm not trying to be difficult. It just happens and it's beyond my control. At least I didn't have a full meltdown, you know? And the moment he picked out the chocolate for me, the meltdown was gone. I was fine again. I was making jokes at the cashier. Like, it was as if it never happened. Now, why does this happen? So now the prefrontal cortex, that part of the brain that handles executive function, remember ours doesn't work very well, okay? And that's the exact same place that handles emotional regulation. So we have executive dysfunction and emotional dysregulation. We have a reduced ability to control our emotional responses, a reduced ability to control the intensity of these emotional responses. Now, you might think that this is something that we can be trained out of, that we can practice our way out of, but it's not. Apparently, this part of the brain that's supposed to help us with our executive function and emotional regulation, it's also a part that regulates the production of dopamine, which is the hormone that helps people have a connected oscillation between these things. That's the same part that is affected. So it's not just a choice. It's not something that we were indisciplined growing up or as children, that we never learned how to regulate ourselves. It's neurology. It's something in our brain chemistry. Now, one of the hardest parts of growing up with ADHD and RSD especially is the shame that comes after an emotional outburst. Now, the thing is, I think I'm pretty self-aware. And being self-aware means I understand the kind of responses I have from an outsider's perspective. I'm able to look internally from, like, as if I'm looking back into myself from the outside. So I know it's dramatic. I know. And the worst part is that I cannot control it, even though I know. So after an emotional outburst, I feel shame. I feel, oh my God, they hate me now. Oh, I ruined it. They all think I'm dramatic. Oh, that was so bad. It's like cringe after cringe after cringe after cringe, and I will obsess over it. I will obsess for hours, days even, depending on the severity of my reaction. I end up feeling so stupid. I apologize excessively because I feel like I just threw a tantrum like a toddler. And society doesn't help at all, because maturity is this thing that's put on a pedestal. So an adult having a tantrum, it's not a tantrum, it's dysregulation, is so frowned upon. Society has taught us that we are broken, that we are slower than others, that we are immature, that we're dirty and cluttered, that we can't sit still. But you're not broken. Okay? Your brain is wired for emotional intensity. It can be overwhelming, I won't lie. It is. But you are not broken. It comes with its challenges and it also comes with its gifts. And some of the gifts are that we are very empathetic. We feel things so intensely as though we were the ones who had gone through it. We are passionate when we love something. You see the way I talk about systemic lupus or ADHD? I'm passionate about it. That's why even though my videos don't get as many likes or views or comments or engagement, I'm still creating, not because I'm chasing becoming monetized or anything. I just love giving out this information because my head is packed full of it, you know? We have authentic emotional expressions. It's very hard to fake what we are feeling. If I'm angry, you'll know. I'm learning to be very diplomatic in how I speak, but my facial expressions have not yet caught up to the diplomacy we're trying to work on. So it's very difficult for neurodivergents to hide their facial expressions. And of course, since we feel things very extremely, when we're happy, we really are happy. And life can feel so beautiful during such times. So now that I've explained the emotional dysregulation, let's get to rejection sensitive dysphoria, RSD. RSD, it sounds like just being sensitive, but it's a lot more than that. This is extreme emotional pain triggered by real or perceived criticism, rejection, or failure. It's not just something in your head, no. It is physical pain. It feels like your heart is breaking, like it's constricting, like you have a fist wrapped around your heart and it's clenching it tight. You can't breathe, you're feeling nauseous, you get lightheaded, the world is spinning, you feel like the world is closing in on you, like all eyes around you are just staring and judging. That is RSD. It can be triggered by so many things. Criticism, even the constructive one, someone's tone of voice. That's why you hear some of us asking, are you mad? Are you sure? You look mad. It's a hypervigilance. Being ignored or overlooked, not meeting expectations, whether they're your own or someone else's, even perceived expectations. Perceived disapproval, when someone doesn't respond the way you think they should have responded, and you automatically just assume, oh wow, they're unhappy, they're sad, they don't approve what I've done. Disappointing someone you love, even thinking that you've disappointed them without any actual confirmation that you have disappointed them. And finally, failure, even small ones. For example, it's been something that's been eating at me almost all day. It's about 8:43 p.m. and I have work in the morning. And I had this entire list of things that I needed to do today. I've checked only about 6 out of 15. And I was just staring at it in this dysphoric paralysis. And I just kept seeing myself as a failure, that I cannot stick to routine. I cannot follow lists. I have horrible time perception. And I was just beating myself up. And when I realized that November is this Saturday, I saw what it was and I was like, oh wow, I actually have content for that. And my instant 0 to 100, I'm excited. I'm writing down these topics that I can talk about this week. Not this week, next month. I am writing them down. Everything is just flowing. And it got me to move, and now I'm recording this, One of the worst things about RSD is that it doesn't even have to be real rejection or disappointment or failure. Just the perceived one is enough to just send you spiraling. It's like an overthinker's sport, the overthinker's Olympics. So why does RSD happen? We've already established that the ADHD brain is an extremist brain. It feels things more intensely and sometimes not very accurately. ADHD brains are wired to be hypersensitive. Like I said, we are wired to have extremist brains. So extremes include hypervigilance, which is an exaggerated awareness to things happening around. And it's like, I don't know if you've watched Inside Out, when towards the end where anxiety is kind of frozen in a panic attack, an anxiety attack. It's kind of like that. That's how our brains are working constantly. It's very noisy in here. And the flow of thought is very scattered. Hypervigilance in RSD causes neurodivergence to be hypervigilant to tone, posture, phrasing. It's like it has a smoke detector that goes off the second we feel like something is off, like a spidey sense. When you grow up with ADHD undiagnosed, your life is full of criticism. Man, you are so gifted. What happened? You used to sit down and read for hours. What happened? You're so sensitive. Just stop crying. It was just a toy. Let your sister have it. You're so lazy. I told you to wash the dishes an hour ago. You're still seated. Why can't you be more like your sister? She's so much neater than you. You can never keep your room clean. You know? That is the childhood of someone who has grown up with undiagnosed ADHD. It is constant criticism, judgment, comparison, and eventually it builds up to RSD, rejection sensitive dysphoria. Years of all of this creates a trauma response. Your brain learns that you are rejectable, that you are unwanted, that you are not good enough until you receive positive criticism, that people will leave you if you are not perfect. So RSD, unfortunately, even with its destructive nature, is on your side. It is trying to be hypervigilant to make sure that you notice the rejection before it happens, or the criticism or the comparison before it actually happens, so you can fix it before someone leaves you, before you're abandoned. The rejection sensitivity, it triggers the response, and then the emotional dysregulation just amplifies it. So you move from something just being oh, why didn't you close the door when you walked in, to oh my god, they think I'm careless, they think I can't follow instructions, they think I don't care, they think. Living with RSD is constant apologizing. You always think that you've done something wrong based on someone's tone, the way they answer, the way they looked at you, the way their body language. Hypervigilance. It is so exhausting, constantly reading people's cues, their eyes, their lips, their mouth, their tongue, their hands, the sitting posture, the way they're looking at you, the way they're fiddling, or it is exhausting. You're constantly watching and registering and taking in information and analyzing. It is a burden. There's the over analyzing, over apologizing, people pleasing. Oh my goodness. Before I moved to Mombasa, I had a different name. And a friend who recently found out that name asked me why I don't use it anymore. And I said that it's not that I don't love the name. I love it. It's a very beautiful name. But the person I was when I was going by that name is not me anymore. She was a doormat. She would allow even the filthiest boots to walk over her just to keep the peace, just to remain wanted, just to remain valuable, just to have her worth validated. And I grieve for her. So much I grieve for her. As Cridwin, I do not base my value on other people's opinions. I have worked on myself. I've done the shadow work. It is ugly. Matter of fact, it makes you physically ill. When you're doing the shadow work, you're opening up internal wounds that have shaped the person you are. You get physically ill. I remember I got sick. I got this stomach issue. I would throw up. I would have fevers. It was so bad. So that people pleaser, not anymore. And I had to force it to happen because I moved to a new city where no one knew me, and I had a chance to be the girl who I'd always desired to be. Strong, confident, able to voice my opinion even if I'm the only one with that opinion in the room. Be able to stand up for myself when someone does something that is unjust to me. This was my chance to be her. I had created her in my mind, fantasized, prayed that one day I would have the guts, the courage, the strength, the determination to work on myself enough to be her. And then the chance to move to Mombasa happened. And I said, you know what? I will put her in a coma. I don't want to kill her because because I love her. So I put her in a coma and I became Crid. The one who fights, the one who is strong, the one who chases after what she wants until she gets it. And I think the girl I was is so proud because I have had to work. I've had to work, you know? I've had to really work. So back to the symptoms of RSD. We've mentioned over apologizing, hypervigilance, people pleasing. There's avoidance. In situations where I might feel criticized or judged, I 100% avoid. That has not changed today. That is why I do not do competitive sports at all. Even things like Uno, board games, checkers, just the chance that I might not win and be perfect. Yeah, no. Another is relationship struggles, because you're constantly asking, are you okay? Are we okay? Did I do something wrong? Are you upset? Is everything okay? That constant need for reassurance can be very exhausting to friends, partners, even family. And it makes those relationships very strained because I'm constantly working on eggshells when I'm around them, because I can see they're getting tired of me constantly asking, are we okay? Are you okay? Is everything fine? Are you upset? And yeah, I know it is annoying. I can tell I'm annoyed having to keep asking. And yeah, it does strain relationships. It does end relationships as well. Another is surprisingly difficulty accepting compliments, because I feel like you're just being nice. You're just trying to be polite. That you don't actually mean it, or you're saying, "Oh, you're so pretty," but I'm just waiting for that but what? But not enough for a black girl, or my smiley's too gummy, or what? It's very difficult to accept compliments, and I'm having to work on it. Like when someone says, "Oh, wow, your hair looks good," instead of, "Oh, hata venye imeshatokana, it's old," instead of kind of trying to bring down the compliment and in tandem bring myself down, I just, well, thank you, and I try to give a compliment back, a genuine one, because you will tell if I'm lying because it'll be written all over my face. And finally is the shame spiral, where one thought multiplies like amoeba, and before I know it, we have an entire ecosystem of shame, self-hatred, and thoughts of self-harm. So we have talked about emotional dysregulation and RSD, which are very heavy topics. But I want to end with this. They aren't all bad. Yes, I know when I feel angry, I just see red and it's rage. But that also means when I feel happy, it is joy. It is radiant. When I feel love, I love so deeply, and my relationships are so full and meaningful and active. I feel passion so deeply. When I am interested in something, I go all in. When I started doing paintings, I went all in. I got these big canvases, all these pens and paints, and I just went all in. When I started doing my hair, when I started doing it myself, after I had to cut it, I went all in. I've gotten the shampoos, the oils, the conditioners. I got dreadlocks, and I have learned the science behind them, so that I concoct my own oils based on the way I feel, based on what I feel my hair needs. If I feel it's a bit dry or a bit like straw, I know the kind of oils to mix. If it's looking faded and dull, I know the oils to mix. When my scalp is a bit itchy, I know what to do. When I am passionate, I am fully passionate. I am fully immersed. When I feel compassion, I feel it completely. My empathy is sometimes overwhelming, I will not lie, and I'm learning to have boundaries on that front, but I am very empathetic and I tend to feel things as though they were my personal experience. Emotional depth is a gift, even though sometimes it can be quite heavy. Living with ADHD emotions means learning to accept them, and that includes going for therapy, seeking help. If I never went to therapy, I wouldn't be at a position where I am functional at all. My health would have debilitated a long time ago. My life would have been a mess, and I don't think I would even have managed to get to my dream city. Building coping skills in therapy does really help you to regain your independence and stop being so heavily controlled by the neurodivergence. Having people around you who are very similar is also very helpful because you're able to, oh yeah, I do that too. Oh my goodness, that's so fun. It's kind of like a mild trauma bond, but like positive, you know. Another is being able to educate yourself on things so that you can educate people around you, so they can understand and you can feel a lot less isolated and don't feel limited that all your friends have to be neurodivergent. Give yourself grace. You are going through so much that is invisible, that you're constantly learning every day, and you're doing your best. You're doing such a great job. You're doing such a great job. And finally, celebrate your gifts. Yes, there's a negative side that can be very debilitating. I know, I understand, and I empathize. But understand there's the other side of the scale too. When you love something, you love it completely. And when you're passionate about something, you're all in. And that is amazing. That is meaningful. So living with lupus and ADHD has taught me a lot over the years, and one of them is this right here. My emotional intensity helps me advocate. I'm able to put my insecurities and my anxieties aside enough to put myself out here, explain what goes on, these invisible illnesses, and to have the courage to share my own stories, even though some might be very embarrassing or sensitive. So if you're listening and you're recognizing yourself, I see you. And life can be beautiful. You just need to put in the work. I know you wish there was an easy way to it, but there isn't. You just have to put in the work. Give your brain the crutches that it needs. So next week will be the first week of November, and we'll be focusing on something completely different. Thank you so much for coming along with me this month of October. I know I didn't post as much as I'd hoped, but I think I tried to put out some very educational and hopefully relatable content to educate, to comfort, and to encourage each and every one of you. And if you found any value in the content that I have shared this month, please go back and share it with someone who would really benefit from this content. Tell people about Crid's Corner. It's educational and it advocates for those who do not have a voice. It advocates for invisible conditions that can be very debilitating with ignorance. Because the more lives we can reach, the more lives we can impact. As we wrap up October, remember that even if you are neurodivergent, you're not broken. Your brain is wired beautifully, and even though there are struggles, you are more than your struggles. Keep going, keep advocating, be authentically you. And until next time, remember to be kind and to be gentle, most especially to yourself. Until the next episode, I'm Crid, and this is Crid's Corner Podcast.